And welcome to a debate today amongst the people for and against millage proposals in the Bloomfield Hills School District. Hello, I'm Charlie Langton. What's on the ballot for voters in the Bloomfield Hills School District? It's a tricky one here. The one proposal, there are two. One is a proposal for a 1.43 mil for 30 years to build a high school on the existing site of Andover High School. And the second proposal is to renew a 0.74 mil sinking fund levy for 5 years that will expire in 2014. This debate has stirred a lot, this ballot proposal rather, has stirred a lot of intense debate and criticism. Let's see if we can give you the answers to what these proposals really mean. Joining me, speaking for yes for the millage is ScottLoneyv. Loney. I messed that. All these rehearsals. Loney.
That's correct.
Good. He is from the Bloomfield Now, and he wants this millage vote. To my left, speaking against the millage, is Joe Katz. He is a member of the Stop Committee. Again, he does not want this millage passed in the Bloomfield Hills School District. Joining me as a panelist to help sort this out, Glenn Gilbert. He is with the Oakland Press, and the Oakland Press has taken a position on this. They are encouraging their readers and voters to vote no on the proposal. Also, Greg Kowalski of the Birmingham eccentric newspaper. His newspaper has taken a position that, yes, this is a good proposal. This will be divided into four parts: an opening statement, questions and answers, and an open discussion, and finally a summary by these two gentlemen. Let's start right now. Scott Loney, please give us a summary, short summary, of why you think this is a good proposal for people in the Bloomfield Hills School District.
All right. The citizens of Bloomfield Hills School District want a single high school that will prepare their children for their first choice colleges. They want a high school with modern facilities, heating and cooling systems that work. They want a school that can be operated for substantially less in operational costs than what we're doing now with two under-capacity high schools. And they want all this without increasing their taxes. And if they vote yes and yes for both of these millage proposals on November 2, they will get it. My committee, Bloomfield Now, is a ballot initiative committee formed solely for the purpose of supporting these two millages. We're citizens of the community served by the Bloomfield Hills School District, concerned for the future quality of our schools, and more broadly concerned for the future quality of life in our neighborhoods. And we think that communities like ours, whose residents by and large have found success through educational attainment, are morally obligated to ensure that we leave behind educational opportunities for future generations that at least match the ones that we benefited from. Our organization is in favor of the millage proposals, period. We're not signing off on a specific school design or building plan because these really don't yet exist. School design and construction is a process we'll all be interested in, but we believe we have to approve the financing so that we can make the right decisions as the project goes forward.
All right, Scott, thank you. Speaking against the millage now, Joe Katz. Joe?
These proposals simply can't withstand the level of scrutiny required for a proposal that's going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars. The regularly repeated representation of proponents of these proposals on the school board and on the committee saying that this does not constitute a tax increase is false and misleading. The Detroit News joins our Stop Committee in concluding that because taxpayers will be encumbered by hundreds of millions of dollars in additional tax burden over the next 35 years, these proposals do in fact constitute a major tax increase. And according to leading economists, the anticipated spike in AAA municipal bond rates that will require that many more than the projected 1.43 mils will have to be levied in order to meet the obligations incurred by the proposed $73 million bond issue. We find school officials derelict in failing to make this pertinent fact crystal clear to voters. I could go on, but you're probably out of a minute here.
All right, we'll have plenty of time to get into this. All right, Greg Kowalski of the Birmingham eccentric newspaper, why don't you ask Joe Katz a question?
Okay, Joe, the Bloomfield Hills School District has been known as one of the finest school districts in the nation. How is it going to attract students? How is it going to function with substandard facilities like it's got now?
The Stop Committee does not favor substandard facilities.
Right.
We're not going forward. We look for a worthwhile plan The plan that they've put forth is not a done deal. Remember, in 2004, they had a done deal for a plan for refurbishing Lasser and Andover. In 2007, they had a done deal that they were going to have 2 high schools on the same campus. And now they've got a done deal where they're going to combine and have 1 high school. I know that educational philosophy evolves over time, but this is kind of a triple-banked billiard shot. They really don't have their act together. We need an authentic community-wide consensus on which course to pursue before we go asking for a couple of $100 million. All
right, rebuttal?
A couple of $100 million bucks. I've never heard anybody say this is going to cost anywhere near a couple of $100 million bucks. It's a $95 million. I've seen 3 construction company estimates that suggest that it's going to cost somewhere between $92 and $98 million. Let's call it 95 in the middle. Now, this is a financing proposal, of course, as you go downstream. You have your interest payments and so forth. But let's talk about, when you talk about your mortgage on your home and you've borrowed, say, $200,000, you understand that the interest payments downstream may actually take you to $300,000, but you call it a $200,000 mortgage. This is a $95 million proposal max. And I bet you that you'll see some cost savings as we get into the design and construction phase as well.
All right.
Well, I hope you don't have to put too much money on that bet.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
We'll keep it up. We'll follow it up. I guarantee you. Glenn, why don't you ask Scott a question?
Scott, $95 million, is it really what it's going to cost to build a state-of-the-art high school? They say they're building one in Detroit for $45 million. For a similar enrollment, I believe. Why is it going to cost so much?
Well, I don't think it is apples to apples. First, using the contracting and construction practices of the Detroit public schools, I think is kind of what is unusual in this case. I don't think that they're a model for any public administration or school administration to follow. Also, the enrollment in that school is substantially less than what the combined enrollment at the new high school will be. I think it's around 1,100 as opposed to the 1,600 or 1,800, depending on when the new school opens up, that we would have in Bloomfield Hills. Also, many of this, it's half the size. Our school will be around 370,000 square feet. Theirs is around 170, 180. So when you look at the per square footage costs of their school, $45 million for 180 square feet, you're looking at about half the school for about the same price per unit. They also do not include some of the athletic facilities and cultural facilities that we believe our school should have.
Joe?
I think there are excellent arguments for 1 high school. There are excellent arguments for 2 high schools. The mistake this board has made is they've not led us to reach an authentic public consensus. We are not reflexively anti-millage. We firmly believe that after these millages, these ill-advised millages are defeated, that an advisory commission ought to go before voters to determine whether or not there ought to be 1 or 2 high schools. When that vote is taken, legitimacy will be conferred upon the result, and the district can go forward together. The board needs to reach out and weave relationships of trust with broader elements in this community in order to resolve this issue.
Greg, why don't you ask Scott a question now?
Oh gosh, I'm just completely drew a blank. I guess the point is, if not now, when? That really would be more properly a question devoted to you, though. And I really want to pursue that with you.
Pursue it, right?
Yeah.
I've